I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my creative healing course is filled with hours of exclusive content. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about my ex was my best friend and I miss them. It's brutal.
It is difficult.
Absolutely brutal when you break up with somebody and you feel like your best friend is gone. Mm-hmm. It's just the worst feeling. Mm. I know I felt like that before my breakup. Like I was like, I don't understand like how you could want this friendship to end. It just made no sense to me. Mm-hmm. It was like I thought we had such a great connection. Mm-hmm. And so when it happens, it's awful. But Coach Victoria has some really good stuff today to share. She did a lot of research on this one, so make sure you listen. And we're going to talk about this.
All right, so in this video, we're just going to talk about what you might be experiencing when you lose your partner who's also your best friend and some things you can do about it. So in a romantic partnership, your partner is not just your lover, but they often take many different roles. They'll be your confidant, they'll be your supporter, they'll be, your second-hand man. This person can play so many different roles in your life that when you lose them, it feels like you're not just losing one person, but many different characters that this person has played in your life.
Yeah, it makes it even worse because the void feels so much bigger.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're used to telling them immediately when anything really good or bad happens, and you're all set to tell them, and they're not there.
Mm-hmm. Right. And especially if you've been friends for many years before you started dating, which many of you have, and many of you have started out with a friendship into a romance. And it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Inside Out.
Yeah.
It's a cute little cartoon movie.
It's a Pixar movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And each of the characters in the movie plays an emotion. Mm-hmm. And so they have these little orb-like things that are memories, that the memories are held inside of them. Mm-hmm. And in one of there's a scene where one of the characters, which is Sadness, touches a yellow orb, which is supposed to signify like a joyous memory. Mm-hmm. And then the memory turns blue and it turns sad.
Yeah.
So this is what I thought of while writing this, because I was like, if you're friends with somebody for many years before dating, then you break up, all of those memories that you had before kind of get touched with sadness. It's like...
Oh, it's awful.
You remember all of those times, but kind of in a nostalgic kind of feeling of loss of all of that.
Yeah, like you could be like, I went to this concert. Oh, I was with them. And so like this thing that was awesome was like, now it's like you feel bad about it. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you knew this person on such a deep level. You were able to know what would piss them off, what would make them smile, what would make them laugh, what they liked for breakfast. And these little intricacies really make you connect with that person and feel very bonded to them. And on top of that, you may have been even more vulnerable with them. Mm-hmm. This might be the first person that you were able to be vulnerable with. So to experience that loss with that person is going to be very difficult. Many of you also took a risk in dating. If you had been friends before, you may have thought, okay, well, if this doesn't go well, then I'm not only, risking rejection on a romantic level, but I'm also risking the health of this friendship. So that heightens even more the investment that you made into this relationship.
Yeah. If you started out as friends and then you start dating, it's more difficult to lose that person because they were such a big part of your life ahead of time, as opposed to you met them on like Tinder and you just started getting to know them through the dating apps. If there's a long history there, it's a lot more challenging to let go of that person.
I've heard people even say I was hesitant to get into this romance because I don't ever want to lose the friendship. Mm. Yeah. So that too is a risk. Mm-hmm.
And many of you may have shared friends, or perhaps all of their friends were also your friends.
And their family.
Yeah, exactly. So this can be a loss on many different levels if you're, very close on a friendship level and romantic level. So losing friends is part of life. And I'm sure you all can think of friendships that you had in elementary school and in middle school, which you've lost touch of. But also creating new bonds and creating different bonds is also natural and a part of life. I'm not sure about you guys, but I have friends that I had in elementary school that we lost touch and then reconnected and became friends on a deeper level. So just because you lose a partner that's also your friend doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship in the future and a completely different, more enriching connection with them again.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but not likely anytime soon. And you kind of both would have to move on. Like one of my exes I'm still friends with on Facebook, and we message here and there, and she's got 2 kids now, and I'm happy for her, and we could chat, and I'm sure if we saw each other it would be great, and we'd have a great time. It's been a long time since we broke up, probably 15 years easy, but you can have that friendship. It's just that she's busy and I'm busy, but when we connect, we have a good time and we laugh. And so, there's still a connection there, but, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to lose that person for good.
Right.
If she needed to call me up and talk about something that was going on in her marriage, I would be there for her, and vice versa. She would be there for me. But, sometimes it just changes and shifts. But when you still want that person, you don't want to be friends with them.
Right. You do bring up a really good point, and this is that you can make new and different connections in the future, even with other people on that romantic and friendship level. Perhaps you might keep that friendship with your ex, maybe not, but it does remind me of this quote that says you haven't yet met all of the people that you will love or that will love you.
Yeah.
Just having this positive forward thinking can set you up and have that attitude to be open to that for your life.
Yeah. So what do you do if you go through this breakup? How do you handle it, right? I think one of the most important things that you have to do is grieve. Margaret.
Feel the feelings. I am a big advocate of both anger and grief, which are not our favorite 2 feelings. But whatever you feel, it's important that you let yourself feel it. We're almost taught to push away negative emotions, and it doesn't work because they come back in a different form. A depression, a headache, an anxiety attack, it won't go away until you process it. So however you feel, try to sit with it, try to tolerate it, and kind of make friends with it, or at least acknowledge its existence, okay? And it's a grief process. You're sad, you lost someone, and you lost someone who's really dear to you. And everyone around you will say that you need to forget it and move on. And, they want you to be happy and they don't want to see you glum. But you can't let go of it, which they'll also tell you, until you've processed it. So take your time and feel your feelings.
It's great to talk to a professional.
Yep.
Get a therapist in your area. Can absolutely make a huge difference.
Right.
Also, don't rule out going to a psychiatrist, getting on having them evaluate you for medication to handle
If
your
you're too depressed or your anxiety is unbearable, right?
And it can be during a breakup because remember, your body is also going through chemical changes because of this breakup that, people are, have this idea of like, well, I'm not crazy. Well, your body is going crazy, kind of, right? So you might as well do something to help yourself.
And you certainly don't have to be crazy to see a therapist. In fact, it's often a sign of really good mental health.
What else can we do?
Another thing that you could do is to also spend time with other people in your life. So those people are very easy to overshadow, when you're focused on your ex and getting them back. But don't lose sight of these important friendships around you.
Right.
And even, your platonic friendships can bring so much satisfaction to your life. And it reminds me, when I was in Norway, I remember I was going through a breakup. I was like, what am I doing in this country? I basically moved here for a guy. And it was during that very difficult time that I have made some of the best friendships of my life. From just people being there and supporting me through that very difficult time.
Yeah.
So don't lose sight of who else is out there and who else can support you.
And it's easy when you're upset to want to withdraw, but it is the worst thing you can do. So that's great advice. Don't isolate.
Yeah. Even though it may be frustrating at times when your family and friends are all telling you how to handle the breakup, reach out, just find out, or do this thing. And they give a lot of advice that, obviously that we're not going to recommend. Right. It can be frustrating because you're like, all these people that really care about me are telling me to do this.
And forget about him or her, like I could, right?
Yeah.
If I could, I would.
Yeah. It's very difficult because that person becomes almost a part of your identity when you have such a close friendship with them like that.
And I'm going to talk about that soon.
Okay. And you got to remember who you were before the breakup, right? There are things that you like doing. There were your own hobbies and interests that you had.
Right.
And a lot of times we put them on the back burner when we're in a new relationship or a relationship. And remind yourself that you enjoyed those things and then try doing them again. I know it can be tough and you don't feel like it sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta push yourself a little bit and give it an opportunity.
Yeah.
I remember feeling like that myself. Like the Yankees were in the World Series one year and I just
didn't care.
I didn't even care, which is like
that's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Which under normal circumstances, like if they were in the World Series, I'd probably fly to New York and go to the games, right?
And you wouldn't even need a plane.
But yeah, it can be very hard to believe that somebody out there is going to understand you in the same way that your ex did if they were also your best friend.
Yeah.
But you will meet different people who will see you in different ways and understand you and connect with you in different ways. It might not be the same as your unique connection with that person, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be as fulfilling, as satisfying, as exciting.
Yeah. So you just got to keep pushing forward, keep working through it, deal with it the best that you can. Many of us will not want to deal with the grief, right? Margaret talks about that often.
It's very hard to deal with grief, but it's very important. Also, you're going to go through grief and you're going to go through anger. Both are real emotions, and both of them need to be entertained if you're going to get through this.
Yep. You can get a therapist. We have tons of free videos to help you through that. My workbooks, the creative healing course, all will help you grieve, process, think about things, grow, and get to a better place. So if your ex does come back, you're going to blow them away with the changes,
Right.
which is what we want. And if that doesn't happen, you're still going to blow away the new people that you date because they're not going to meet somebody who's as insightful or healthy as you, right?
Yeah. That's right.
So either way, it's going to pay off. And
you can't lose.
And it does get better. All right, that was some good stuff there.
Yes.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give the video a thumbs up for Coach Victoria and all her research on this one. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful to you, please sign up.
And Coach Victoria will still be training with us behind the scenes.
I'll be here in the meantime.
And you'll get to see her in the videos for now. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.